What's going on, everybody? I can't believe I can't even escape the late comment. It is 9 o'clock on the dot. Can't even escape the late comments. This is nuts.
Steven, you can't win.
As you see, we called in the cavalry. Matty Capital is here. I got the painting hanging up. Finally got the sign hanging up. Unfortunately, when I turn the sign on, you cannot read it from that far away. So I got to get like a stand for right here.
Can't win, Steve.
Listen, it's tough out here, man. It's tough.
Some say that it's tough for Uncle Steve.
You know, some would say it's really tough.
Thanks for inviting me out tonight. It's a good time. I'm excited to be here. Bad news, Steve. I was walking to my desk with an open container of water and I spilled it. And now my mouse doesn't work, so I have to order a new mouse.
Well, while Matt figures out his mouse problems, please take a moment and read this disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. We have no idea what your situation is. Please take everything we say with a grain of salt. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do your own due diligence. And with that being said, we got a lot to talk about. We got a week removed from Amit's meetup. We have a crash that should have never happened, a crazy rebound on Friday. We have Anthony Noto actually doing a interview with people who actually understand SoFi, Tevis and Tanner. We got Josh Brown coming on the new channel, Basis Points. Channel. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We got a lot of things to talk about.
We got a lot of things. Who came up with the name Basis Points?
Funny story how that happened. Before we get into that, thank you everybody for being here. Ray, June, what is going on? I think I saw Michelle in there. Thank you everybody for being here. To answer your question, Amit and I could not agree on anything. We went through a ton of names, and I said, what about the basis? And then he's like,
oh,
basis. He's like, what about point? He's like, what about basis point? And I'm like, about points, since there's two of us. He's like, I don't hate it. I'm like, I don't hate it either. And that's kind of how we settled on it.
I like it.
Kind of how
what were the other runner-ups, Steve?
The only other one, I mean, there's probably a million runner-ups. I don't know, I should say we. I was loosely considering yet to be named. I think you know the running joke that we can't say. Everybody will find out on Thursday because it's in the first minute of the next episode that we've already shot. But yet to be named was a runner-up in my mind. So
I like it.
All right. Let's first say the meetup last weekend was amazing. I think that we had such a good time. I'm not going to speak for anybody. I had such a good time from the lunch the day before to hanging out at the cigar bar. My only mistake was not going back to Jersey and getting a hotel room at the hotel. I won't make that mistake again. That way I can get more time hanging out with everybody. And then the event was absolutely amazing. Jess and Amit did a great job hosting it. I don't think it could have went any better. And everybody that I met, such good vibes, great connections. I'm in a bunch of different group chats now. So really happy the way it went down. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm biased. Sorry, I got like dust all over me. I'm biased, right? I mean, I was there. I was able to hang out late in the evening. I think I went to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. Talking to people, just letting them know about what my thoughts are about, certain companies. And one individual was curious about Next Decade, so I talked to them for about 2 hours about Next Decade. So it was awesome. I think there's a lot of learnings. I wouldn't have changed a thing. I'll just say that point blank for the meetup itself. The thing that I would have potentially changed, I think, which Doug actually introduced, or like an even better if for future is obviously the initial keynote should be Amit because he's obviously the one that's inviting everybody out and the majority of people are coming to see him. But I think another piece which I think is going to allow people to really knock off a lot of big questions that they might have is beforehand if they're able to capture the top 2 questions for each individual candidate and then in a kind of like a 15-20 minute initial like on stage or sort of a thing, people can address that. So that way, like if you had a question, for example, of like what does Matt think about venture global and its prospects, they could all ask me that because there were so many repeat questions that I had to repeat. Then you can almost dive when you see me later on, like how we were kind of just hanging out, and everybody was kind of coming up to us and asking their individual questions, getting pictures, etc. They could ask me more deep questions because I feel like not everybody had, but some people had some really good questions. But I think a lot of the times it was a lot of the same surface level questions that could have been answered very early on by having that sort of initial sort of piece. So I think that was a really smart idea by Doug because like so many people ask me about what do I think is going to happen with Rocket Lab and this, that, and the other, and it's like had I just been able to answer that up front, in front of the whole 350 people, it would have freed up a lot of people's opportunity to ask me more deep questions, which, to be fair, are a lot more fun and a lot more open ended. So yeah, I think overall though, it was awesome. The cigar bar was definitely one of the highlights. It's going there with a bunch of people that never smoked cigars before. So yeah, overall, just a complete blast. And I'm sadly not going to make the LA meetup. Sadly not. So
yeah, I think you need to get your plans rearranged.
my sister's flying in, and she's had that planned for months. And I thought that the LA meetup was going to be kind of earlier mid March, and so I always thought I was going to be able to make it. And because it got switched to the end of whatever, it just doesn't work out, unfortunately.
Well, gonna miss you. Dougie will watch over me and make sure I don't get kidnapped out there. So,
I mean, Doug's smarter than me. He should be up on the panel. I shouldn't be up on any panels.
Got some news, everyone. Amit and I made the news.
Really?
I just went on X, and on today's news, Basis Points podcast launches with Josh Brown's Wall Street Stories.
That's awesome.
In my little news feed here.
Dude, I got to see if it shows up for me.
And then SoFi shares jump 7% after CEO Noto's open investor interview.
Dude, you guys are
What is going on here?
You guys are making this place.
This is freaking heroic.
That's insane, dude. I gotta post this.
I'm taking a picture and sending it to Amit. I don't really want to call him because I know he's with his family. I don't want to bother him. But if he texts, I'll ask him if he wants to jump on for a minute. That's freaking awesome, though. The fact that they're saying SoFi shares jumped 7% after the Noto interview because of Tevis and Tanner is great. I watched it. It was amazing. It made me want to buy more SoFi. This is just too funny.
It did. Did it actually make it jump 7% though?
After hours, it was up quite a bit.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was because it came out 4 p.m. my time, so it was a good interview. I didn't finish the last 1/3 of it, but yeah, Basis Points on mine too. I just reposted it on X.
And thank you everybody that's watched the show. Thank you everybody that joined the channel. We have, I mean, this is kind of crazy. I'm really so thankful for the community. We now have 3,450 subscribers And the Josh Brown interview has done 17,000 views.
I mean, I'm just upset that the 17,000 isn't translating into more subscribers.
You know, it's okay.
Beggars can't be choosers here, Steve.
It's okay.
But
we're going to get there. I'm excited for everybody to see the next one. I actually listened to it today with the shadow government. And
what did the shadow government have to say, Steve?
The next interview's fire. Like, it's really fire. I got a little unhinged.
Oh, you mean the upcoming one?
Yeah, I got a little unhinged.
So, funny story behind that. A little BTS behind the scenes. So I showed up on Thursday.
And just before you say anything, man, nobody knows who the guest is. So the rumors,
of course.
The rumors that Amit told everybody, they were trolling to try to figure it out. Yeah, I
confirmed. Who did they troll? And say?
Well, they were trying to get me to saying that Amit already said it on his show, knowing that I'm at work and I can't listen to it. So I confirmed with Amit that he has not said who the next guest is yet.
Chad is savage, and I got a picture with this. I got a picture with this person. So I'm excited because when you guys finally do release it, I can then post my picture.
Once he'll probably drop it on Wednesday, I would think, and then you can throw the picture up. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just super excited because Mitch just said that's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy, man. You guys are coming out of pocket, to do this, and you're taking a big risk and time, time and risk to coordinate all this. So, but anyway, little BTS. So I stayed in the city Thursday night last week, so about just over a week ago, into Friday, because initially I was supposed to meet up with Steve and get breakfast or something. And Steve had a lot of other external commitments as well that we ended up having to cancel. But then he was able to make a little slot to be able to do this upcoming week's show for Basis Points. And so it was really cool. Initially, I mean, you guys have seen the first episode. If you haven't, let me just make sure I posted in your chat, Steve, because I'm pretty certain I posted it in mine. But
I'll post it. Keep talking.
Okay, so initially, when I was going through, I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, we'll be able to sit in and watch it, and while it's live. And then I'm starting to pull in chairs and stuff like that from outside. And then I'm realizing there's so many cameras and angles that they have in this place that I would just be sitting in front of one of the cameras and I'm like, I can't do this. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to sit in as much as we initially thought we were. So excited to eventually see it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What did you think of the studio?
The studio was pretty impressive. It gave me a lot of thoughts. I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe I could actually do something like this in Houston. And I feel like it could actually make some pretty good moves.
So originally we were going to build our own, and Amit and I had went to B&H Photo. We had talked to the people that worked there. We looked at all the equipment that we needed to buy, and we were going to get the equipment. I don't think Amit was going to let me pay for anything. I told him I'd split it with him, but I think that I don't think he was going to let me pay for it. That's just how Amit is. And we decided not to do it because even if we bought all the equipment, we would have still needed to hire somebody to do all the different camera angles and switch everything, because the way that they do it, we have an engineer doing everything. So we figured, you know what? Let's just have it professionally done in a professional studio. And it is the best decision we've made.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it does a really good job.
Yeah, my big thing, as I said, I want to make sure that you can watch this on the TV and get the same quality as if you're watching it on your phone. And it is phenomenal. In the second episode, they changed the background. It's not the dark background anymore. They made it lighter, and it looks awesome. So I'm really excited for the second episode to come out.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, we let Josh riff and just go off on this. The second episode, I talk more than Amit, and I got a little unhinged about the Bears. So, and it was
Sweet.
the right person to get unhinged with the Bears about. I can tell you that.
I mean, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Anyway, I don't want to mistakenly
No,
say who it
all right,
is, so let's
let's
move
move
on.
to Tevis and Tanner. So I
Dude,
got a chance to listen to their interview at Noto today.
gloves off, bro.
Gloves off, hats off. I was a little worried because I had talked to Tanner. He had called me and said, "Yo, I need to ask you something. I'd appreciate if you don't tell anybody. We're interviewing Noto. It just kind of came together." And he's like, "What would you ask him?" And I'm like, "Listen, I'm probably the worst person to ask that question to because I have no filter and I don't make any apologies about having no filter. So you're going to be asking him much more civilized questions than I would because I would have probably pressed him on business banking. I would have pressed him on the technology platform and a lot of other things. But I told him the two main things that I would want to get out of him. And I got to tell you, there's not two better people for Noto to do an interview with than Tevis and Tanner because they asked such phenomenal questions in that interview. I am so proud of them. And I think Noto did such an amazing job that as a SoFi shareholder and having a large position in SoFi as a percentage of the portfolio for me, I had past tense no intention of buying more.
Mm,
I am considering making a sizable investment on Monday.
sizable,
Sizable.
Steven.
I don't know if I'm going to because I still want to build out two other things, but I got really freaking bullish. I mean, I don't see a way that this doesn't. Think about it. If this goes back to 30, that's a 50% ROI.
Yes.
And that's the way that I was thinking about like, okay, my average is going to go up, but if this freaking goes back to where it was, not even
I don't even
100%
think.
of where it was, just where it was at 30, that's a 50% ROI.
Yeah.
So,
And that's in
Tevis
the
is in
shorter
the
term.
chat. Tevis, if you want to come on and talk about the interview real quick, I'm sending you a link. I think you and Tanner did a hell of a job, and I think you two are the right people to interview him. There's not another combination that could have done a better job.
Yeah, it was really good riffing back and forth between the two, and as always, I mean, I've always wanted to potentially. I'm linking Tevis's in the chat for anybody that's interested and has not seen it. Let me just make sure that I get it on yours as well. But
I'm showing it right now. And we went dark side tonight, just for the record.
Steven, some may say. But yeah, I mean, it made me think really hard and deep because he bottoms it up then or not? Oh shit. Okay.
What?
You just like chugged half of it in a second. I like it.
I could slam this whole glass in one gulp.
Serious question. What kind of chocolate did you get? Or is it straight from the dairy farm?
Dude, don't do that to me. It's from the farm.
What kind of chocolate do they use?
It's from the farm. I don't know. I don't ask.
Steven.
I
Anyway,
did get a very depressing text message on yesterday.
depressing?
Very depressing text message. So the milk dealer reaches out to me and says, "Hello, Steve. Calling to let you know that they canceled the markets this weekend due to the cold temperatures. Hopefully, the weather will cooperate next week." No bueno. That means I got to ration my milk.
Steve, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go to
This
the
is not
bodega?
good. We're low on half and half. I only have like a half gallon left. This ain't good. This is desperate measures.
No more no bodega? No bodega milk?
Listen, when times get tough, I don't know. We'll have to go figure it out.
I don't know, Steve. I don't know if I've ever seen you off the dairy.
I know. I'm freaking IV right to the vein.
Jeez.
It's gonna be bad.
I
Anyway,
bet the shadow government's probably celebrating in the other room.
and then
Um,
June's showing off that it's 70 down there.
June thinks she's better than us,
I mean,
and she is.
she
So she
probably
gets
is.
it. She is. She knows.
Probably
It's not probably. It is. She is. Um, regretting bringing milk to the New York meetup. Why would you? Why would we have
No,
regretted?
I'm so glad I brought milk to the meetup. You know, I think I took like 15 milk shots with people.
Well deserved. Well deserved. But I'm
Freaking
excited.
great.
I mean, the thing is that I'm liking to see, and I think it goes a lot into what Josh Brown had said, is it's all about making connections, right? And so, I mean, now you have this connection with Tanner and Tevis, with Noto, and having that connection. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be like they're not calling each other, like we call each other, but that's all it is, man, is really just growing your connections throughout the business. And that's all this has been this experiment the past 2-3 years of getting to know Chris and getting to know you and getting to know Amit.
Look who it is.
Getting to know this guy.
It's Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Senor Hollywood.
Senor Hollywood, why?
Pedro
You pulled
Pascal.
Noto.
Oh, right.
So you and Tanner did a great job, first off.
Thanks, man.
And couldn't be more proud of you guys. I think that out of everybody that follows SoFi, the two of you are probably the best duo to interview Noto. I think that the dynamic was great and it made me want to buy more. What are your thoughts coming off the interview?
I did buy more.
Boom.
I mean, I think it was, look, I'm going to be biased, obviously, but I think it was his best interview. And this is coming from someone who has listened to and covered all of his interviews, all of his firesides, all of his earnings calls. He's heavily restricted in terms of what he can and cannot say in those. And he just answered us straight up, man, to the point where like Tanner flat out asked him, why aren't you buying stock here in the $20 range? And he answered that question. So you're not going to get that level of, discretion from him at any other type of event. So I thought it was a great interview. And that's not necessarily, as a result of our questions, is as a result of how open he was with his answers.
I like it. How much more are you adding?
Well, I sold a good chunk of my HIMS position. So, yeah, I added a bit. I think it's like 33% of my portfolio now. So YOLO.
SoFi is?
Yeah.
Definitely worse places to put money. I think it's a good, safe place. The thing that I like about SoFi is that it's not going to be super volatile, in my opinion, in terms of what the company does. Now, the stock can be different, but to me, I feel like you won't have to worry about underperformance because it's not like it's a massive volatile cyclical sort of company, right? I mean, it's a bank at the end of the day, regardless whether or not you want to call it just a bank. But yeah. I mean, it's a very, to me, I don't want to say slow and steady wins the race because they're obviously moving much faster than slow and steady, but they're not reinventing the wheel or anything like that. It seems like, it seems like they're really just getting after it. So,
well, let me just make a very simple case for the next 12 months. Their growth rate is accelerating. Even in the interview, he talked about big business banking and further entrenching them into crypto from a product perspective. He talked about this year, 2026, being the year they lay out an internal plan around international expansion, which they're going to presumably start to do in 2027. And the thing to understand, Matt, if you even want to even more simplistic than that, it's a company that is ahead of S&P 500 inclusion. If it doesn't happen in March, it's going to happen in June. If it doesn't happen in June, it's going to happen in September. It's going to happen this year. And what we know is all these companies that got into the S&P, whether it be Palantir or Robinhood or anybody else, what happens is all of these institutions that are manipulating it from the back end, as a result of all those inflows from the passive funds being included in the index, you get these big institutions, like, they stop manipulating it essentially and just go long. And that's why a lot of these companies just fly after S&P inclusion in the months following. It's because just the supply demand looks heavily in SoFi's favor. And so I think it's just very simple, man. I think it's going to be at 40, and 45 is my price target by the end of the year. And it's simply on the back of like the S&P 500 inclusion is just going to throw so much passive money at this thing, and it's going to be very hard to still keep it down.
Steve, the rebuttal.
Maddie, are you buying?
I had more money. I actually did think about it before I bought more Amazon on Friday. I did think about whether or not I should branch out. And there's just so many companies that I still have that I want to get to a sizable position. I know I'm going to regret it, but it's not me regretting not buying SoFi. It's me regretting not having more capital to invest. And so I can't blame myself, because I think I would be able to blame myself more if, well, I could always blame myself because I could always make more money. But, that there is a limit. If I was at full capacity on all my other positions, like my Rocket Lab, my Palantir, my Amazon and Google, and I wasn't buying SoFi here, then I could be a lot more angry at myself. But because I'm only at 70% or 72% or whatever of my Amazon position, and same thing with my Google, to me, that was the decision I had to make, is like, do I want to make sure that I get to the right Amazon position that I want, the right next decade position that I want, etc. So it's tough. It's really tough. So my thought process was, it's like, if I were to get back into SoFi, I'd have to figure out how big of a position I want it to be. What would I prioritize over that? And while I like SoFi and I think it would be a great addition to the portfolio, it's just tough right now, considering none of my positions are fully built yet. So it's a sad position I'm in.
Well, Tevis, you made the news. In case you didn't say, SoFi shares jumped 7% after CEO Noto's open investor interview. I'm assuming that is pertaining to you and Tanner.
Open it up.
Yeah, it is.
YouTube interview.
Yep.
That's cool. We're up 7%.
I guess.
That's kind of silly, because they attributed the daily move to us, and we dropped the interview after hours. So we're definitely not up 7% because of me. I'd love that to be the case, but it's just not.
That's all because of you guys. I'm saying it right now. It's all because of the two of you.
Hey man, if we're up 7% on Monday, I will take a victory lap.
So I bought more Microsoft on Friday, and I put together some stuff. I'm gonna riff on the Bears for a moment, maybe a little 2-minute riff. I'm so sick and tired of the Bears. You all right, Matt?
I'm ready. I'm waiting. You're teeing it up, and I'm ready for it.
So I put a post out on X, and I'm gonna break it down.
Break it down
The
for Steve.
hyperscaler CapEx is absolutely insane. Year over year in 26 expected, CapEx acceleration is going to be just over 70% year over year. These four companies are going to add over $250 billion to their CapEx spend. Last year, it accelerated year over year by 64.5%. They add 140 billion year over year. The idea that tech should get sold off this week, and you could make an argument, I guess, for SaaS maybe. But to sell off NVIDIA of all things after Micron, after SanDisk came out with their comments, after Taiwan Semi said that they need to expand facilities and increase CapEx by 30%, and then getting all four of these reporting and having the aggregate CapEx 610 billion for NVIDIA to go down by around 9% this week before the Friday bounce was absolutely ridiculous. And for all the bears that say it's unwarranted, too much, they're the same bears that thought it was a bubble at the Dow when it hit 10,000. Now, expansion in CapEx allows them to expand profitability. These four companies, Microsoft does not report on a calendar year. That is why I have TTM instead of 2025, because they report on a July to June schedule. But over the past 12 months, 3 out of the 4, it's their fiscal year, Microsoft calendar, they've produced $573 billion in EBITDA and added $82.5 billion year over year. These companies keep expanding their profitability because of what they're deploying in CapEx. The bears have no idea what they're talking about. They are not 99.9% wrong. They are 100% wrong because CapEx drives future revenue and future profitability. And when you look at the cash from operations that these companies are generating, it increased by almost 24% year over year in the TTM, $580 billion. These four companies alone, more than $500 billion in cash from operations. And I'm willing to bet this keeps exceeding at double-digit rates for the next several years. And the whole argument against technology is so ridiculous. And these companies are trading at such low valuations. Meta, NVIDIA, Amazon, and Microsoft now trade at under 20 times forward earnings. This is not an expensive market. And I wholeheartedly believe the bears are freaking so incorrect and so off sides on this that they're once again going to get caught with, let's just say they're going to get caught with something down. That's my riff on it.
Steven. It's definitely interesting. I was wondering at what point we would see any sort of slowdown, and it does not look like it's anytime near. I mean, 50% from 23 to 24, and then the 60% from 24 to 5, and then now we're starting to see it continue to accelerate 70% going into 26. I'm sure unless something drastic happens, it wouldn't be surprising if we end up at over 75% year over year. It's crazy, and the direct beneficiary is NVIDIA, of course. So.
The fact that NVIDIA went down is insane, and it's a direct beneficiary. I mean, Matt, do you own NVIDIA?
I have $10 in it, Steve.
Okay. Does this make you want to buy NVIDIA now that Amazon came out with 200? And granted, Amazon is not all chips and data center. They have wide infrastructure, but Alphabet 180. I mean, does the 610 billion this year make you say, okay, maybe Jensen's going to hit another home run?
I think there's no doubt that he's going to hit another home run. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, with the incredibly bullish sentiment he showed at that recent interview yesterday or 2 days ago, it's, I think, very encouraging from what he sees sort of on the ground floor from a demand perspective and also from an innovation perspective of what they're doing at NVIDIA. So I think him hitting another home run, very much a possibility, even though we're getting into a point where you're starting to have some tough comparable periods.
We mean terrible periods.
Tough comparable periods, as in the growth rates to maintain the same percentage is going to be difficult because they're higher and higher growth rates.
Well, yeah, you're not going to maintain the same growth rates, but they're still going to freaking put up huge numbers.
Yeah, of course. But in the eyes of the market, you're only as good as your sort of most recent quarter. right? So what all I'm saying is I don't know how the market is going to perceive it, but I think the future is going to be looking very bright when they report in a couple of weeks and also going forward throughout the year.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. I'm looking forward to Jensen reporting. I think it's gonna be really good. Tevis, why aren't you out? It's 9:30 on a Saturday.
Because I'm here with you, man.
I'm not used to you being at home on a Saturday night.
I got the UFC on the other screen, and I got you on this screen. That's all I need for my Saturday. I'm gonna get a little energy drink, and that's all I need for my Saturday night.
Celsius.
What's the flavor of that evening?
I'm out of Celsius and I'm out of Alani, so I think you guys are gonna bear with me having a Red Bull. Beer back.
Oh,
Red Bull.
look at him stand up in front of the camera. He's got that 6-pack.
Red Bull.
It gives you
I
wings.
forgot the UFC is like on every week, so now I just put it on the other screen.
Yeah, get those guns. Did you have to declare those when you cross the border?
So Matt, Amazon. I know you want to buy more.
Making me blush.
Oh,
Where are you with your position in Amazon?
just over 700 shares.
That's not what I meant with shares. I meant just where are you? Still buying or not?
Yeah, I bought some on Friday. So I've talked about this with you and I think others in the past, is that I was going to be using my SPY position potentially as cash. And for anybody that knows more personally, like I invest a decent amount of money into the SPY every month, including my 401k. And so taking that opportunity to pause and think on Friday, I said, you know what? I will have a lot more to add into the SPY or SPY equivalents. And so in the meantime, I don't mind taking a slight step back on my SPY position, which has a mind of its own at this point, and adding it to Amazon, just so that I have the opportunity to get it in the future. I think Amazon had a phenomenal quarter. Continued to show really good moves. I mean, the e-commerce side is growing north of 10%. The AWS side is growing north of 20-something%. So overall, continue to do extremely well. I wouldn't be surprised that if in 2 years' time, this thing hits $1 trillion in revenue by like 2028, 2029 for sure. Just based off how fast it's growing. I mean, I think it was over 200 billion in revenue for the quarter, Steve. I don't remember. You're the good numbers guy. I'm just I just work here.
You just work here.
Amazon 4Q earnings. Yeah, 213 billion for the quarter. So total net sales year over year increased 14% overall. So, and plus all the auxiliary layoffs, like operating margins, I anticipate are going to accelerate. So, to me, while net sales might only been 14%, you're also going to have the increased margin overall. So it just, to me, I feel like it's one of those places where it's a really good opportunity to just throw capital at.
Are there any other Mag 7s that you're deploying capital to?
I haven't actively bought Google because of its price. Before its massive run up, I was buying Google as well as Amazon. Other Mag 7, I wanted to potentially add into Microsoft, but I came to the same conclusion that I did with SoFi, which is I still have positions in my current portfolio that I think I need to continue to round out first before adding to something like a Microsoft, even though I think Microsoft is way oversold here and I think had a phenomenal quarter, regardless of whether or not people think that the open AI dependency in the backlog is scary, the 45%. They're not going to just walk, even if OpenAI, as I know as some people think it's a fugazi to an extent, they're not just going to disappear, right? I mean, I don't think that 45% will just disappear overnight. There's just too many partnerships going on, too much capital that's being raised, including I think another $50 to $100 billion of capital being raised for OpenAI within the next 6 months. So that money is just going to go straight to building out infrastructure, which will then lead right back into Microsofts, the Amazons, and Googles of the world to help build out their cloud infrastructure, which then goes right directly back to NVIDIA, right? So, I don't know.
Tevis, what about you? Are you deploying anything to the Mag 7 or just your SoFi, Nebius, those companies?
I bought Amazon on Friday.
Love that.
I bought it at 204. Yeah. And my spreads are not happy right now with me. But yeah, bought some shares. I think I was getting to that place on Thursday where I said, hey, if this drawdown continues for another, 2-3 days like this, I'm probably going to end up selling my Meta and my Amazon to deploy it to more risky stuff. But then we turned back around and Amazon shot the bed. I mean, they did great, but the market perception, like Amazon fell 10%. So I said, okay, great. I'll put this into Amazon right now. So yeah, very happy with the both of those. I think right now Amazon, if you add up the spreads that I have and the actual shares, it's about 11% of my portfolio, and then Meta is about 9% of my portfolio. So together they're about 20%. Basic maths. I have a topic. If you guys are down to change the topic.
Yeah, we want to discuss.
So I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but I saw the Elon interview on Cheeky Pints. Did you guys happen to see that?
No.
I saw it, but I didn't get to listen.
The first 30 minutes or so of that interview, brilliant. I'm not through it yet, but the first 30 minutes, honestly, man, like everybody who talks shit about this guy, like I get it, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's very, very smart, but he's also kind of eccentric and blah 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 blah. And then I re-listened to an interview, and I'm like, dude, this guy is like on another level, because the ability to dive so deeply into technical concepts and explain them in such a very succinct way, I think is an underrated ability, because you need to understand the topic to be able to dumb it down for just average audiences. And anyways, the first 30 minutes is on orbital data centers. So data centers in space. And his estimate is basically that within the next 3 years, or even less than that, 30 months or so, the energy capacity constraints are going to become incredibly evident, because from like he was mentioning like wind turbines, like the wind turbines, it's like a backlog until 2030. Everybody's moving as fast as they can for energy, and you cannot deploy fast enough. He explained what the actual benefits are of deploying in space, namely that you have, sunlight 24/7, and among other benefits like that are constraints on Earth. And honestly, man, I shared the video with Roy, and I said Matt was right about everything for the Rocket Lab position, because he talks about all this tonnage that he wants to essentially have in space, and he talks about this entire build process. And now, I mean, even earlier this week, he was saying like, hey, Mars is going to have to wait because we want to be able to build on the moon. Basically saying that there's enough silicon and there's enough aluminum on the moon for us to even mine there to be able to build data centers. Long story short, the data centers in space thesis, I was just like, oh, it's kind of not a real thing. But after listening to that segment, which I highly recommend you all listen to, it's definitely more real in my mind, because
what time?
3 years.
3 years data centers in space.
36 months, he was saying. So he was saying in 36 months, but he was saying closer to 30 months, it's going to become very evident that we're going to start moving at a snail's pace from a build-out perspective, not only from a build-out constraints, i.e. we're backlogged so far, but also from a regulatory constraints perspective. He was saying, dude, this is the craziest part. He was saying we wanted to build And it's easier for them to build data centers in space than it is to build data centers in half the states due to regulatory issues. And I'm like, how the fuck is that the case, bro? How can you just go to space and build easier because regulators won't let you build in Nevada or, Mississippi or anything like this?
Right. Okay. Take regulations out of it. And I'm not doubting. 3 years is difficult for me. We barely have astronauts now.
No.
So it would have to be Optimus, right?
No. Sorry, you're misunderstanding. Not they're going to build it in 3 years, but in 3 years, you're going to get to that choke point where you're going to start. You won't be able to move as fast as you're currently moving in the build out phase of existing Earth data centers.
I get that because there's more data centers being built now than are already commissioned.
Yes.
So I get that. But when do we actually see data centers being built in space is the question.
There's already GPUs that are being tested, whether it's from a Rocket Lab or from Tesla, or not Tesla, SpaceX putting up NVIDIA GPUs. So in that respect, they're already putting them there. I think the difficult piece is how do you get the data back to and from Earth? Do you use laser optical communications or do you use radio frequency? The benefit is that the sunlight that you get from solar the solar capacity in space is much easier to kind of comprehend and use than what you have here on Earth. So if you think about Earth solar, you might get 6 hours of premium sort of light of say 100%. Then you have the shoulder hours, say 2 hours on each side, where you're only getting 50 to 60%. And then you have minimal throughout the rest of the 12 hours of the day of like 0 to 5%, because you still do get some solar energy from the moon, just based off the reflection of the moon's light onto the Earth's surface. So the problem with that then is that there's just so little capacity. You're lucky if you get 40% usage out of a solar panel on Earth in a day, and that's maximum. Versus on space, you're getting 100% utilization 24/7, coupled with the cooling effects. So you don't have to spend as much energy as well on cooling because you have basically negative temperatures out in space that are always going to be, it's like putting a GPU in the ocean, right? Like you have an infinite mass amount of cooling effects that can kind of happen in that respect, because how are you going to cool the ocean or heat up the ocean? Sorry, it's going to take forever. So it's almost the same sort of thought process.
Yeah, and just one thing to add to that, like that's the capacity for solar on Earth. That's under optimal conditions, like no rain, no clouds, nothing like that. And not to mention that on Earth, you'll always need batteries because even though you do get a little bit of solar during the night, like it's not going to be nearly enough. Whereas in space, if you get solar 24/7, like you're not going to need the batteries and you're not going to need the cooling. And so, but there are other physics problems that you have to solve for. So it's going to become more and more front of mind, I think, as SpaceX IPOs. And he was talking about, potentially SpaceX, the new, what do you call this new rocket? Not the Falcon. This is the Super Heavy or Starship. The Starship funding, he was saying, is basically going to be funded by orbital data centers, just as Falcon was funded by Starlink. So there is a commercial use case for all of these other sort of more philanthropic projects.
I want to see it happen.
You guys have to listen to this interview, and honestly, it made me very bullish on SpaceX and on Rocket Lab as well. And like I said, I messaged Roy and I was like, Matt was right about everything because
yeah, we did.
Far from.
Yeah, it's it's actually also interesting, right? Because it sort of is a bear case, let's say, for a company like Nebius, but also for all the data center companies, not today or tomorrow, but if that does happen, and like I understand Elon timelines and the physics problems, and it's still an execution risk. Like I get all those things, but the physical constraints remain, and if those physical constraints are always going to be a limiting factor, the bottleneck of the build out phase, then you're always going to be in this very supply strained supply capacity constraints across the board, because the demand is not going to stop anytime soon, especially when you get to agentic use cases. It's going to even accelerate, I think. So if in fact it does happen, which is still a big if, and when it does happen, which is still years away, it could present a real, issue for existing data center players. But it's still like a very small percentage and very far out.
I mean, how do we know it'll be bearish for them? Why wouldn't it just be for additional compute since we're going to need it?
Well, it is for additional compute. Like it's they're going to build as much as they can, as fast as they can. But if they can't move faster, then the demand is going to go to whoever can service that demand.
Somebody in the chat was basically talking about how it's super hot in the sun in space, but you have to think that's of course if you're dealing with facing the sun, right? The cooling fins for the data centers would be facing away in the shadows of the sun, which gets extremely cold. So it's the exact opposite. Yes, I hear what you're saying with respect to the heat of the solar panels and things of the like, but in the shadows, it gets extremely cold. Question for you, Steve. Who do you think the number one solar space grade solar provider in the world is?
Space grade?
Yeah.
I have no idea. First Solar? Well, I mean, what is it? Freaking Elon's company that he freaking bought? No. Enphase? Rocket Lab? They make solar panels?
Yeah. You ever heard of the James Webb Telescope, Stephen?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, is this window open? I'll just jump.
You realize I know nothing about Rocket Lab, right?
You're good. You're good. No worries.
Nothing. Did you guys see All In yet?
No.
I started to listen the first half, and then this started.
So the first half. So you saw the SaaS conversation, correct?
The beginning of it.
Tevis, if you do nothing else tomorrow, you have to at least listen to the 15-minute segment about SaaS.
I will absolutely listen. I also think, Steve, that we live in an absolute golden age of content abundance, because
yes,
I've been all the free time I've had, I've watched different podcasts and stuff. I watched the Josh Brown thing last night. Very well done. I thought it was super professional, and I'd love to see you in a blazer more often, sir. And there's just too much content, man, and I freaking love it. It's just a great time to be alive, honestly.
A fountain of knowledge.
I think that you'll find it more interesting than I found it, because Calacanis created this thing called, they're calling it Ultron. It was an open Claude, some type of programming based on the Claude model or something.
Oh, like the Claude bot, where you just put it in like a Mac Mini and it's your assistant?
Yes, he has a whole freaking thing of Mac Minis, and they basically, at his company, one of his companies of 20 employees, they've dumped everything into it, all their calendars, all their emails, all their notes, all their spreadsheets. Mm-hmm. And you can go in now and type, what were the biggest events of the week at the company? Give me all the notes, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, it has become one super employee.
And like the crazy thing is that entire room probably of Mac Minis is equivalent to the cost of one software engineer in terms of like how much it would cost the business. So it's a crazy world, man, and it's only going to get crazier. And I think right now, like the Claude bot thing, I've wanted to try it. I have an old laptop that I'm like, okay, I can just try it with this. It seems very gimmicky right now, but I'm sure it's going to become more and more seamless in a very rapid time frame. And I think that's like So to my point earlier around there's going to be more demand around AI, and I think the agentic piece is really where it's at. Anthropic CEO is saying in 6 to 12 months we won't even need software engineers. Claude is now about 4% of all GitHub commits, something like this. Like it's pushing code itself, and they expect that by 2030 it's going to be like over 20%, or even higher than that. You're going to get to a world where AI is pushing more code than actual humans very quickly here.
Oh, I agree with that. One of the things that they were saying is the revenue per seat or revenue per platform on SaaS will probably go down, and the companies that survive and thrive will be the ones that can monetize agents within their software.
I mean, it's the same thing, man. It's like 5 years ago, the guys who could, thrive were the guys who could, monetize some agency out in the Philippines to do all of their, executive assistants and content creation. It's like, it's basically the same thing. Like if you're entrepreneurial enough to set up your own Claude bot and have it be your personal assistant, then you were entrepreneurial enough to 5 years ago go, live the Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week essentially and hire a small team to augment all of your tasks. It's the same thing. It's just easier to do now. It's more accessible to normal people. But there's going to be people who are never going to use it. The majority of the population is just going to use ChatGPT and ask it questions, and they're never going to move past that until it goes mainstream. What does going mainstream look like? It goes where Gemini now, right, it is a plugin on my Chrome, and all of a sudden it links up to my entire Google suite, my Google Docs, my Google Sheets, my Gmail, and it does everything on my behalf. But so that is the level of, that's like the hurdle that needs to pass for this to become mainstream to the average public. Because right now, the people who are actually doing the Claude bot type of solutions, they're still a vast, vast, vast minority relative to the Gen Pop.
I still haven't set up any agent to my ChatGPT freaking subscription. I'm such a piker.
Dude, I started paying $30 for Claude, and I just use it for basic shit. And like, I like it. And it's really good, but I still am not harnessing nearly enough of its full potential.
Yeah, it makes me really bullish on the future of technology companies, especially in hardware.
So I'm going to be starting a new role here soon, and in this new role, I'm going to have the same mandate of like, hire a team, set up the processes, and make sure that the company has the appropriate procedural scaffolding to go to the next level. And one thing that I've been working on, Steve, I mean, you might find this interesting, is for the last 3 companies that I've worked at, I have created a playbook. So basically all the initiatives, the process changes, the experiments, I created like a 1-pager for all of those. And they're unique in many cases to the individual company that I'm working for. But it's been 3 companies now that I've been doing this. And my current company, I've done a playbook of like 200 slides, essentially. The intern keeps it updated. And it's like everything that we've ever tried. And now I'm uploading all of that across all my companies into Notebook LM, which is Google.
Which is amazing.
And so now I'm going to have this productized version of all the stuff that I've done in the past that has worked, all the processes that I've implemented, all like the, one-on-one styles that I've done, all the experiments that I've run, everything basically, like my ways of working, my methodologies. And now I'm going to go to the new company and I'm going to say, hey, this is a problem I have. Is there something that I've done in the past that applies to this use case? Let's implement it. So essentially, like, I just want to keep training this like mind map around the way that I think and the solutions that I've implemented so that it's plug and play in future, institutions that I work for.
Interesting. You excited about the position?
It's going to be fun, man. I think I'm excited to do a new challenge. It's a completely different vertical. It's fintech. and I've never really officially worked in fintech in the past. They're doing really exciting stuff. They're growing incredibly quickly, and dude, honestly, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, what poor bastard has given me the keys to this entire P&L? But yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So are you guys going to any of the meetups going forward?
Matt?
I already answered that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make LA because I have family commitments. But
You're doing the Texas one though, right?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as I don't have anything else planned for the rest of the year, but hopefully it's there. And
When
then
is
if not sure 100%, that's part of the problem. And then same thing with hopefully with Singapore, if that's appropriately timed. I'd like to go to Singapore as well.
Yeah, I'm planning 5. I'm gonna do LA, Houston, Miami, Chicago, and London, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
London.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to London.
Even did
I
you
know,
just say
crazy. Crazy.
Hey man, now all we got to do is we got to host a fake meetup in Mexico so Steve will actually join us one time, Matt.
That's not happening. Let's not get crazy.
I think Angela would like us to come to
Maybe we do one in Puerto Rico. We'll see.
What's the difference between Puerto Rico and Mexico? It's the same
One is
duration.
a U.S. territory, one is not.
Why does that matter?
It matters.
Is London a U.S. territory?
No, but we'll discuss it later. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
He's like, there's no cartels in London except their government.
So what do we think for next week? Do we think we hit a bottom? Do we think that this is going to take another leg down?
I think we hit a bottom, personally.
I'm in agreement. Maybe we go 1% down, but I think we're finding a bottom here, and I think we're going to rebound. I just don't think there's anything structurally wrong with the market right now, and I think that the corporate earnings are too strong for this bullshit to happen.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think?
I think that it's not as simple as up or down. I think where we're going to see is I think companies that have continued to struggle to make revenue or are not making progress and have been relying on hopium, but have yet still caught a bid over the past 6 months to a year will continue to struggle. And I don't think that they'll recover. And if they do recover, it might be short-lived. Versus the companies that are delivering and executing, I think that they'll continue to recover back towards where they were. I think that crypto-related companies will continue to struggle just based off the fact that we're depressed and likely at the beginning of crypto winter. So I don't think that those will recover fully either. For me, I would focus primarily on securities of companies that are executing and investing in those. And then if you have the opportunity to consolidate out of companies that may have been more speculative and not necessarily delivering, this is an opportunity for you to focus on the ones that are delivering. Because some of these companies, even if they are delivering, they might still be burning cash and they might still be kind of thrown in with the speculative high beta names that aren't recovering. And that's the approach I took in 2022 with some of the other space stocks I was invested in at the time to roll a lot of that money into Rocket Lab. And the other companies have either gone belly up at this point or are still continuing to do horribly. And Rocket Lab has obviously continued to do well and gain more and more revenue and market share in the business. So I would take that same approach, and if I had companies that were more speculative, I would do the same thing as I did back then. And the reason being is focusing on the companies that are going to rebound faster and or buying in those companies that are actually developing. Those might recover faster. Crypto, I think, has 12 to 18 months before you start to see another side to it. So you'll have time potentially over the next 12 to 18 months to load up on that. And so I'm trying to understand what way I attack that angle, knowing that crypto is going to be down for quite some time.
Tevis, do you agree that crypto is going to be down for a long time?
I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 12 to 18 months. I think it's going to be choppy. So the thing is with these drawdowns, it's a lot of forced liquidations with margin calls. And once you get that washed out, like we hit a bottom, I would say, in Ethereum. At least so many of the signals are flashing that. I just did my BMR video that's going to get posted in the morning. And I'm just looking at all of these indicators that have been like have 100% accuracy, and all the other times we hit the bottom, and they're getting broken through right now. And so I think we're closer to the bottom than we are the actual drawdown. Like I think we are going to be starting to be on the turnaround. I think the market structure bill is going to be important. I think the new Fed chair is going to be important. Both of those are likely to get resolved at some point in this spring. And so I think we can see crypto rebounding in the summer and towards the back half of this year, summer and the fall. I don't think it's going to be next year this time. Like, I think that's just too long of a timeline.
Yeah, I think, look, I have a problem with the amount of leverage that's being used in the markets. I agree that and that's been part of my thesis about this whole thing that started with Bitcoin going under 80 and then 75. And you had a lot of people on margin that got margin calls. They don't have the cash to backstop it, and they were forced to liquidate into weakness, and it just caused forced selling. Algos got a hold of it, bled over into the equity markets, caused a mini flash crash. And I'm annoyed with margin, period. I don't think that it should be this easy to get margin. I think it's really ridiculous because a lot of people don't know how to use it correctly. Even worse, they don't have the money to backstop it. And I think that that's the bigger problem. Because sure, anybody can get a credit card and take out a loan. But with this, you take out a credit card and you default on your payments, you're screwing over yourself. But you go on margin and this happens, it's not just you. Like there's a lot of ramifications in a widespread thing. I'm very annoyed at how loose it is with margin.
Yeah, and they make the drawdown so much more pronounced. Like what could be a 10% organic drawdown is now 40% because the forced liquidations. Like in Ethereum, for example, you saw Trend Research, Jack Yi, last month or the last 2 months, he basically bought about $2.6 billion of Ethereum at 3,200. And then what we saw this past week is he sold 1.8 billion of those at 2,300. And he has something like, a very small fraction of Ethereum left. He realized $750 million of losses. And I'm just like, dude, that is just forced selling that makes it go much worse. And it's a domino effect on the way down, right? Because all these forced liquidations, it's a vicious cycle. They cause more downturn. The more downturn causes more forced liquidations, and all the way down we go. So
I'm looking at strategy. Have you looked at Strategy's dashboard lately?
No.
It is ugly as hell. Down 60%. MNAV 1.2. This was 1.04 before. I'm surprised it's 1.2 now.
It's crazy like that it still trades at that much of a premium.
Right. Well, I looked at a couple of weeks ago. It's at 1.04.
I think they trade at more of a premium because they use more leverage. So I would understand, why they would trade at a premium, whereas BM&R doesn't really use any leverage and they don't have any debt or anything like this. So there's no real reason, there's no real premium to attach to them.
Matt, what point are you joining the BM&R train? Or are you not doing it?
I'm trying to understand which one. I don't want to have a lot of. I mean, I've reinitiated my Bitcoin buys and Ethereum buys because I think, I think we'll be range bound. Like Tevis said, I mean, I don't think we're going to go back up to 95 or anything like that from here for Bitcoin. But I do think it's a time to accumulate. So I did save myself a couple months of buying in the 90s to 100s, and now I'm able to kind of catch up. And I forget how much I bought last week. It wasn't a massive amount, but enough to kind of catch up at the prices that I kind of missed over the past couple months, I think. I'm trying to understand what company I potentially hang my hat on. I will say that I did have some hood. I had a single hood leap. I think this might have been mid 25. When Amit and I were exchanging, I didn't have any hood, he didn't have any Rocket Lab, and so he bought 100 shares of Rocket Lab. I had bought a leap of hood, and that was up. And then I had sold a 125 covered call, which obviously was up like 85 or 90% or something like that as of last week. And so I closed that out and then bought, I think it was like the $40 call or something I was up 80 or 90% on. And then the short call I was up like 85 or 90% on. So I closed both of those out and bought 2 January 28 leaps at $50 for hood. So I think that cost me around 8,000. That's obviously up because hood recovered a little bit, but on Friday. But I'm trying to understand. I think hood has enough diversification outside of crypto where it's not going to be completely reliant on it. I'm looking at the things that I have been concentrating on are Coinbase, Kraken, which is a private company. If I have the opportunity to take a stab at that, I might. And then there's what else was there? BM&R and MicroStrategy. I don't know which one I'm gonna go to pull the trigger on. I kind of like the income aspect of BM&R, being able to stake and get 2.5% to 3% of all of whatever you own staking. So that's nice. Coinbase obviously has the money coming in from all the ETFs because they're the ones, Coinbase is the one as the custodian for a lot of these ETFs and also institutional investors. So as things come back from that, I think that there's an opportunity for Coinbase to actually do well as well. So I don't have an answer for you. I'm looking at all of them. I'll probably pull a trigger. I'm actually very curious and surprised because BM&R, they started staking rather recently. It might not have been long enough, though, to have actually been incorporated into the fourth quarter earnings. So now that they're starting to stake, and now that they're like a $10 billion company, I mean, if they were to fully stake everything right now, they'd be making $300 million a year as a $10 billion company. It's not horribly priced at that point, right? With the opportunity to reinvest part of that and then give out some part of that in terms of share buybacks / dividends. So,
well, one thing you're sort of missing is that the staking rewards are paid out in Ethereum. And so it's 350 million or whatever, if they were to stake their full Ethereum on hand or once they reach their target. But if Ethereum goes to 4,000 or whatever, all of a sudden those staking rewards are much higher than that when they actually report relative to the market cap that you're buying them today. So you always have that upside potential of what you're buying them at and what they're making. So your yield is much higher.
yeah. Yeah,
I think I'm going to buy more
100%.
Ethereum right now.
Oh,
What's that, Steve?
I think I'm going to buy some Ethereum right now.
All right.
Why not some XRP, Steve?
You know, everybody laughs at me about XRP. Everybody laughs. Give me 5 years. We'll see who's laughing.
Okay.
XRP is the future. All right, we're buying Ethereum. Where is it? Oh, that's freaking ugly. It's at 2085. Jesus.
It's not even that bad. It was way lower. It was at 1700.
So ugly. All right, just bought more.
Heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Heard it here first. So, are we going dumpster diving on any value companies, or are we just sticking with growth and high beta?
Steven, bless your heart. I am so broke, man.
What do you mean? I figured you'd be freaking selling puts or selling calls to raise capital to buy stuff.
Dude, I need to raise money. I got early assigned on a bunch of stuff, and if I get more early assigned, I'm going to be in margin. So I need to raise some money soonish. It's crazy, dude. Like, I got early assigned on stuff that's like expiring next month. I'm like, what the heck?
I'm about to lose my shit. But I love the trolls on X. So that big, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking bring it up on my.
Bring it up, Steve. Call him out.
We're gonna. I just. It's so. This is what you get for posting common sense stuff, right? This is what you freaking get. This is what you get. All right. So I did this long post, like I'm known to do, about the sell-off in technology this week was completely overdone, et cetera, especially, and I cited NVIDIA. And I went into the whole CapEx thing, and I did all the numbers in the post, and I showed it, right? And then I get this comment right here. Focusing on CapEx misses the broader structural shift. This sell-off wasn't triggered by spending, but by a fundamental breakdown in the perfection needed from all Mag 7 companies to justify these valuations. I'm about to respond to this, whoever Mike V is, in the most freaking savage way.
Let's see it.
Valuations. You want to talk? You're talking to the wrong person when you want to start talking about valuations, sir.
I can't believe that's the comment that triggered you. I would have skimmed through that 10 times out of 10.
Why?
I don't know. It's not even
Yeah,
that
that triggered me. Tevis, I get triggered easily with this stuff because it's not a rationalized comment. Like, if you're going to say something like that, actually come at me with some numbers. So I don't want to come off sarcastic, but okay. If you would like to discuss evaluations, please see the table below. This is based on the... I can't type and I have a freaking microphone in front of me. Sorry. Consensus. I really can't spell or type. I did. Is it that freaking bad? Jesus Christ. Horrible. Actually, hold on.
Yeah, it's like not even a verified account. Steve's just arguing with bots.
Pretty much. Steve
100%.
arguing with bots, my favorite pastime.
Steve tweeting like he's emailing somebody at the office. Please refer to my previous email. Steve, when is episode 2 of Basis Points coming out?
Thursday, I believe.
Do you have episode 3 recorded yet or no?
I believe this week.
Oh, exciting.
So let's see. I mean, I do the math. I back up everything up with numbers. They're not my numbers, but this is just like with freaking Sir Joseph Carlson, who asked me for 4 questions, and I wrote him 12 or 1,300 words at midnight. Then he blocked me. It's like, the hell. I want to have Sir Joseph Carlson on and have a conversation with him.
Have him on the Basis Points.
No.
No,
That could be I'd watch that. Let me put it that way. I'd watch that.
not high enough caliber for Basis Points, Steve?
No. But I listen, I want to have a conversation with him because I don't think that I deserve to get blocked. If you look at what I wrote, it was a very well thought out thing. And he thought I was trolling him. It's like, dude, you asked me the questions. But
why does everyone think I'm on drugs? What the fuck?
You seem like you smoked a blunt, Matt.
Apparently. So somebody asked specifically, do I know any other companies that are going to be in the space data center piece? That's part of the reason why I was wanting to invest in Skywater Technologies, is because they invest in radioactive hardened GPUs that are not specifically silicon based. They are a little bit more. They use different materials. I forget which ones, but they're more rare materials that basically from the size that a lot of these people are going to be asking for, whether it was the Department of Defense or whether it was at least initially, it didn't make sense for like a TSMC or an Intel to stop their main silicon-based lines to create these sorts of radioactively hardened chips. And so that's part of the reason why I was so bullish on potentially getting into Skywater, and that was bought out. So unless for some reason that deal falls through, that would have been a different way to kind of get involved. And also it was nice for potentially quantum chips as well. So there was that piece. Instead, I'm in because of Skywater not necessarily working out, I'm investing in Symbotic, which is a warehouse robotics company.
Matt, how many stocks do you own? Roughly.
Let me less than 10. Yeah, Skywater was the material at 25. It was very upsetting.
Less than 10?
Yeah.
And you have ETFs in there too, right?
I have what?
ETFs in there as well?
I mean, I guess if you want to include ETFs, let me see. Let me do some. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you include Dutch Brothers.
You still hold Dutch Bros?
Yeah.
Not those trade. Do you guys have Wingstop still or no?
I never had Wingstop. I know Chris was big into it. Did we ever own it in the public account? I don't think we did. In the public account. I know we talked about it on Cashflow Chronicles, but and I guess if you include Bitcoin and Ethereum, I have I guess 11 total positions.
Real quick, Elvis, thank you very much. PB, let's go through the list. Thank you very much. Top Super Bowl feuds: chicken wings, pizza, chips and dips, nachos, burgers / sliders, loaded fries, pigs in a blanket, egg rolls, spring rolls, dumplings. I'm with you on wings and pizza. I don't know that I'm with you on anything else.
Bro,
A little wop.
What?
A little wop. Wings and pizza.
For
Wings
me,
and
it's
pizza, baby.
yes.
PB, thank you. Thanks to you using VZ Profits to buy more QXO. VZ Pump, baby. VZ pumped.
Matt, did the Cash Flow Chronicles episode where you guys talk about Chris going into PayPal drop yet or not yet?
No, I think that's Tuesday. Chris had some stuff happen between this past week and so I think he's dealing with some personal stuff, and then we'll be back at it next week on Tuesday.
All right, because I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, that'll be the topic number one. I don't think, what was our last episode on? Let me just double check.
Tevis, are you getting interested in PayPal?
No. But like I said, I've said this before. I mean, I probably would not be opposed to some at the money at the money leaps, and then just on the off chance that something does happen. But to own the shares and lock up that much capital, no, not really.
No, the last one we concentrated on was yes, I'm not feeling 100%. So sorry. Somebody in the Rocket Lab Weekly said Matt's been smoking too many cigars. No, although I do smoke too many cigars as well, I'm just not feeling 100%. Last stream that we talked about on Cash Flow Chronicles was United Health.
PayPal is something where I want to become a vulture if it goes to like 30. Not here. Like, it's still not cheap enough for me, because I think there's no way that this company, I mean, I shouldn't say no way. I think the market hates it that much that even at these depressed prices, I don't think it's going to do much. The real question is, if it is an advocate, are we going to see a... Oh, you think Elliott Management comes in or somebody like that?
It's possible.
They should
Break it up for parts.
Honestly, they need to start a venture capital arm. They need to hire me and Steve as co-CEOs. Steve,
how savage is what I said about Alex Chris?
It's pretty savage, Steve.
What did you say?
We'd have to play the video back because it's the way that I said it in the context around it. But I was saying how, they should just hire Matt and I as co-CEOs. The first thing we should do is suspend the buybacks. Second thing is find things to acquire. Third thing is bump the dividend up to 3 or 4%, which Alex Chris should have done, but he didn't. And we'll never know if it would have worked, but you're not the CEO of PayPal anymore, so it really doesn't matter. Something like that.
He said... He said it doesn't matter because I'm not the CEO of PayPal.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't matter because I'm not the CEO of PayPal, but guess what? Neither are you.
I was fucking crying, dude. Oh, man.
I mean, listen, I was very outspoken about it. I think he did the wrong thing with a lot of things.
Yeah.
From that very first earnings call, when I said this is the worst earnings call I've heard in a long time, and, putting out a sub 1% dividend, like, who does that? Like, stop it. You're not Meta.
Next thing you should do is fire literally 80% of their staff because they have 24,000 employees.
The hell does everybody do there?
Nothing.
Gaming company.
Well, it's exactly what Elon did when X came around, right? He was like,
right.
the
Yeah.
website hasn't changed. You're not innovating.
Yeah. 24,000? What?
Like, why would they need more than 10,000 people at that company?
You can fill a freaking stadium for their company retreat. What are you talking about? Insane.
I don't know.
Insane.
Seems like a lot of people for that company, but what do I know?
VP Max says, dude, you were talking about someone's livelihood. Yeah, it's called capitalism, man. We're not running a charity here. If you don't add value, you're out. I mean, like, it sounds really harsh, but like at the end of the day, like, what are you doing? Like, if you, like, all of these hyperscalers are cutting employees every single year, and every single year we see these TikTok videos of like, hey, come and work with me. A day in the life of a product manager at Google. Does nothing. Here's the bar that we have in the office. Here's the catered lunches we have in the office. Here's the games room. Oh, I got really tired. Let me take a nap in the nap pods. It's like, dude, what?
So they have been cutting employees since 21. Tevis, you're going to die laughing. They had 30,900 employees in 21. And now they're down to 23,800.
We need a recession. We need we need a depression is what we need.
Why?
I don't, dude, like, it's just, how do you have that many employees? Like, what are they doing? What are the team splits look like? It's just crazy to me.
So they're selling general and admin expenses. So this is wild. All right. So in 21, they had over 30,000 employees. Now they have just under 24. And their selling and admin expenses are roughly the same. 4.3 billion. I don't know.
What's their, like, it's sales and marketing their biggest expense item?
Cost of revenue is 19 billion.
Cost of revenue?
Yeah.
What even is their cost of revenue?
It's got to be software. It's got to be all the payment processing. Not people.
19%?
No, $19 billion. Not 19%. $19 billion.
For
60%
revenue?
Yeah.
What are they making cars over there?
Yeah, look.
Fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know.
19.4 billion cost of revenue. That's not employees. That's not staff.
Go down a little bit. SG&A.
Staff is here.
Yeah. SG&A, R&D. It's like, what's R&D? You guys aren't growing.
Oh, well, that's the thing. They're R&D. They're just improving their platform. But 3 billion to not really add that much revenue, I don't know. Somebody's going to come in and freaking gut this company.
I mean, it looks very guttable. That's for sure.
It's too profitable to be at this market cap, but the market hates this company. I mean, look at this damn cash flow statement. You have $1 billion in stock-based compensation, which is way too much. Like, I have a problem with this. Look at this stock-based compensation for a company that has lost 80% of shareholder value. That's crazy, first off. And then you have all these damn buybacks, and the stock has done nothing.
That's 43 grand a year per employee for share-based compensation.
They're lighting money on fire. These tranches
making me upset. Like, it's physically making me upset. It's just,
like, think about it. These tranches in 22 and 23, every share that they bought back has lost roughly 30 to 50% of their value. Tens of billions of dollars. This is the worst run.
Think they're hiring?
What?
Seriously.
Think they're hiring?
Probably. They've never stopped hiring, apparently.
43,000 in share-based compensation a year?
All I'm saying is this is the worst stewardship of shareholder capital in a company I've seen in a long time. This is a company that just goes down, yet they throw so much money at buybacks. They're legitimately burning this money. This all should be given back in dividends, so it would have been cash in the shareholder pockets, because buying back shares has done nothing for the company. Nothing.
24,000 employees, bro. What?
I don't know. At what point do we become a freaking vulture with this? I mean, it's at $40.42. And the street is expecting 3% revenue growth this year and 5% next year. And I mean, 7.5 times current earnings. Like, this is worse than a tobacco company. Like, there's so much value here if somebody competent comes into this company. Like, PayPal's so profitable. Like, what do we? I don't know. Am I wrong that $40 isn't low enough at this point?
From what we're seeing, $0 isn't low enough. Like, I don't know. This is like classic when you have too much money that you're just fiscally irresponsible, you know? And I mean, we just ran through the income statement. We might as well be a government body at this point.
You want to know what's worse? The balance sheet's impeccable. How much cash they're sitting on Tevis? Have you looked?
I'm not saying it's a bad business. I'm saying it's badly managed.
No, I'm agreeing with you. 10.4 billion in straight cash on hand.
Crazy.
Cash.
10.4 billion?
Straight cash on hand. That's not even long-term investments. Like, if we really go through all these damn numbers.
Bro, what?
Look at this. 10.4 billion cash on hand. We go into long-term. They have another 4.3 billion in long-term investments. And you ready for this? Less than 10 billion in debt. They could pay off all their debt right now and not even touch their long-term investments. Like, this is a cash-rich company.
Bro, what are you talking about? Hold on. 10.4 billion in cash and 4 billion, you said, in investments?
4.3 in long-term investments, yeah.
So call it close to 15 billion.
Yeah.
And they're trading at what? 37 billion market cap right now?
A third of the market cap is straight cash.
Yeah, like, you're telling me that they're trading at $40 and what, $15 is just cash? Less than that?
More.
What the hell?
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, 40 and 15, yes, that math works. Yeah. So, and they're doing 6 billion in free cash flow on top of that. Like, Chris may not be wrong here. The problem is the market hates this company so fucking much. But this is so compelling to be a vulture.
It is. It is, but
from a value standpoint, there's a lot of value to be unlocked. I mean, the market cap is down to 37 billion.
yeah, going back to my original point, I don't necessarily want to lock up my capital in PayPal, but some at the money leaps, I could see it. I could definitely see that.
I'm going to help you be a degenerate right now. Maybe I'll follow you.
Or even some spreads. Just go $40, $80 spreads for 2028. I wonder what we would get with that. Let's do the math.
December?
January. Yeah, $40 is what, Steve?
1030.
Okay, go $80.
238. That's too wide. Come on.
Okay. Well, go. What, $60? I guess. Go $60.
I would say 45, 55.
Okay.
40. I mean, that's 300 a contract.
So you're 3xing your money at max profit at 55?
I mean, let's get the option profit calculator out.
Bro.
What?
Yeah, let's do it, because this sounds pretty good actually to me.
I personally just without without knowing a vision, it'd be tough for me.
Without what?
Without seeing a long-term vision, it would be tough for me.
I mean, you get odds, right? It's all right. So what are we doing? 45. Just go hit the midpoint. 45, 55.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. 45, 55.
So okay, so 340, and you get 10 at max profit, right? So what is that? Close to 3x?
Yeah, it's a 3x, 194% max profit.
That's not even that bad, man. 3x for $10, $15 move in the stock price in 2 years.
It's 100% annualized return if it pays out.
That's true.
300 a contract.
That's crazy.
Break even's 48.40. I mean,
That's crazy. Dude, spreads are like, I thought my eyes were open the moment I discovered the wheel. I think like the moment I discovered spreads, I was like, holy crap, this is insane. This is the slow progression to my blowing up my portfolio.
yeah, please don't. We're just looking. We're not necessarily doing this. Please don't do this just because we're talking about it. We have no idea if this is going to work or not.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is PayPal is so interesting because of the financials are so strong. There's no forward growth, very limited, low single digit. The earnings calls sucked. The guidance sucked, but sometimes there's value in shit. And PayPal is a 6 billion free cash flow business that is cash rich with not a lot of debt on the balance sheet, super profitable. I don't know. Can they turn the ship around is the question, or do something to increase profitability?
Yeah. So, but like, you can do the same mental math with so many different names because they're just beat down by the market. And
Give me one.
well, I don't know. Like Figma was one that I was looking at, but it doesn't have enough of a history. But I can't wait for that earnings, man, because that's going to be really interesting to look at. Figma is now $10 billion market cap, and it was what, $100 billion market cap just 2 months ago. Yeah.
What could PayPal buy? Like you got 6 billion in free cash flow a year. What can they buy other than their stock? Like legitimately.
What can't they?
What's an adjacent add-on?
Why don't they just buy eToro?
Did you said that the other night, or did somebody else say that?
I said it first, like, no, because Kyle White was saying like, oh, so if I should buy Webull, and I was like, why would they buy Webull? They could buy eToro for cheaper, and it's a better business.
This is sound crazy.
$2.5 billion for eToro. All right, main fight's on, Steve, so I might drop in a second.
All right, this is gonna sound crazy. Why doesn't PayPal just buy Block?
That is crazy.
Block is a $33 billion company. It wouldn't even be that far of a stretch.
Dude, what do you mean? It's 33 and 37. It'd be like a merger of equals almost.
Right, but maybe there's synergies to be had between the two.
And you want Jack to run both of them?
It probably wouldn't be worse than what's happening at PayPal. I don't
know. Anyways, I'm dropping off. Thanks, gents, for the time. Really appreciate you both.
Tevis, you're a good role model to society.
Talk soon.
Love you.
Chat. See ya. Bye.
Want to get your
what could they buy?
What?
What could PayPal buy?
A lot of things, man.
Like, is PayPal really going away?
They're a zombie company. They're too profitable to go away.
Right. So at what point, like, my thing is Chris right about becoming a vulture at this stage? Like, is there another leg down? And if there's another leg down, how much further can it really go? Like, what are we going to say? This is going to trade at 4 times free cash flow? Because it's already trading. It's trading at 6 times right now.
The thing that is going to be more important is they could acquire something, but until it actually sticks and actually grows within the organization, it's going to be tough. Like companies do bolt-on acquisitions all the time, but will they actually be able to hold on to that talent and innovate with it within to be able to get people excited about the company?
Yeah, maybe Elon just freaking buys it. Who knows? I don't know. Freaking PayPal.
I don't think that. I mean, I see what Chris is saying in terms of them potentially having the ability to turn it around, but that was Roy's thought as well. A lot of other people's thought as well. They're just now 2 years down the line, which might make it more. I don't know.
Yeah, thinking that now is a much different valuation than before. I need to really do some more work on it and look at it.
Yeah. Question. I've gotten a lot of people asking me about Axon the past few days. I'm curious your thoughts.
I haven't looked at Axon. Let's look at it live.
Looking at it live, people. Somebody in the chat was asking about it. I had a friend test me earlier.
Right, so let's look at Axon live, and then let's just answer a bunch of community questions, and then we're going to call it. All right, Axon, 32.9 billion market cap. Let's start there. It is down roughly 40% in the past year. All right, so that's the framework. And I have not looked at this. You guys are getting raw. So 2.5 billion revenue, 38 billion market cap. All right. Gross profit. Okay. So my first question is, why are they now losing money?
That's a good question. I'm wondering the same.
R&D expenses are going up. That's cutting in. So I don't like this. So your SG&A is going up. It's gone up year over year for the past 4 years. Your R&D is going up, so it's becoming more expensive. And your cost of revenue is going up, probably because they have all the freaking, from what I remember about the company, online storage for all the different body cam stuff. So that's got to be cost of revenue going up. I don't like that the SG&A and R&D is going up that much to make operating income negative. So I don't like that. Net income is only positive because they're able to play around with taxes, and they probably have some breaks and stuff in the unusual items. We'd have to look more in that. It's a good balance sheet. 2.5 billion in cash. Another 350 mil in long-term investments. Long-term debt, 1.7 billion. So they have more straight cash on hand than debt. I like that. Cash flow. More stock-based compensation going out the door to a company that's now losing money. I don't like that. Cash from operations is declining year over year. Decent for the way it is, but this is never a business that's really thrown off a lot of cash from operations. So I don't think it's that interesting. Let's see where the analysts have it at. I mean, that's why the freaking analysts think that they're going to grow EPS by a ton in the future, and their revenue. I'd have to look at the product pipeline, but it's just not something that I'm that interested in. The financials don't look great to me. And I'd have to learn the business to see if these models actually work. Do you know about their business?
No, everyone is just saying that uh, there's a lot of ongoing needs to renew federal equipment and or local equipment contracts.
Yeah, look, there's probably a huge moat around it. There's probably even a monopoly in it because it's probably the de facto for so many different police departments and federal task force. So I could see it. I'd have to really look into the business. But once again, just off of what I'm seeing with the expenses going up and then their money going in the wrong direction on profitability, I'd rather take a flyer on Zeta, which makes a lot of sense to me for a lot of reasons.
And is more profitable.
Hey
Not
guys,
wrong, Steve.
I don't like the numbers on Axon. All right, everyone.
Didn't look
Fire
too
out your
impressive.
questions. We'll do like 10 or 20 minutes on just any questions that you guys have, and then we'll call it a night. And then, Matt, are we going to stream tomorrow before the Super Bowl for the small portfolio?
Yes.
All right. So, Matt and I will do a daytime stream tomorrow we have to document our stuff. Can I ask why you weren't with MU rather than SanDisk? I own both, but just curious about your take. I don't really follow either of them that hard. The big thing with Micron is I understand the high bandwidth memory. There was a Windows 10 upgrade cycle, and with all the new GPUs and servers and Blackwell and various systems coming out, we just need more high bandwidth memory for data centers. So I thought it would be more applicable. They're probably both can still do good. I am still planning on buying more Salesforce. I haven't. With Microsoft going down, I've been buying Microsoft. Matt Chells wants to know who you're picking for the Super Bowl.
No idea.
I'm going Patriots.
I feel like for some reason I want to say Patriots as well.
I have my reasons for the Pats. Drake May's wife has a cooking show, or I should say a baking show, and it looks like she makes really good freaking cookies.
Maybe we should hire her, Steve.
So, I mean, just because his wife bakes cookies, we're going with the Pats.
I mean, I think if we need a Texas distributor, we already have the individual that we can use to make the Texas distributor for cookies.
Ooh. I think we have one too. I know who you're talking about. Can we get your top 5 positions each?
Top 5 that I currently have?
Yeah.
Individual?
Mine is a S&P 500 index fund, a total market fund. No, I'm sorry, target date fund. Nvidia, Meta, and not sure what the 5th largest position in the portfolio is.
Mine's Rocket Lab, Palantir, S&P 500 fund, Amazon and Google. Those are my top 5.
I don't even know who's reporting next week, to be honest with you. The only things I really care about are the companies that just reported and then Nvidia. So I don't even know who's reporting. Maddie, are you in Symbotic?
Yes.
Alina says that Nibius is going under 70. Cisco is as you describe. I like Cisco. I still think Cisco is going higher. Which sector has more catalysts in 26, space or semiconductors? I would say semiconductors. Matt, what would you say?
What was exactly? I'm trying to see. Where's the question?
1052. Which sector has more catalysts in 26, space or semiconductors?
I'm gonna go. Everyone knows that semis already are the capex is growing. I think the Golden Dome contract will be big for a lot of smaller amount of companies. So there's more alpha to be made on that, I think, than potentially semis in terms of percentage gain basis.
I am
Overall
not.
money will be semi.
I am not still buying boxes of quarters and half dollars. I still haven't even gone through these yet. I was going to do it tonight, and then Matt and Tevis joined, and obviously we didn't get
Don't
to
blame
it.
it on me.
I'm using you as a scapegoat, Matt.
That's fine.
I may do a dedicated stream tomorrow. I got to get to it. I got to get this shit out of my office. So, do you both think when Nvidia post earnings there'll be another drawdown? No, I think that Jensen is salivating at the moment. And Charles, I think you were on the after hours last night when we watched Jensen and Gerstner on CNBC. I think the market is on Jensen's shoulders and he's going to prop it the fuck up.
Steven's cursing.
Matt, what do you think about Shopify?
I haven't looked at its valuation in the latest time periods, but I've always really enjoyed the company. I know it makes it very easy for folks to get up and running, and there's a lot of applications that have been built for it. So I don't hate the company. I just don't know how the stock is comparatively. I know it's pulled back a good bit, but I haven't looked at the valuation.
Is Oracle dead in the water or so undervalued? It could be very undervalued. I hate the freaking balance sheet. I hate the fact that their CapEx is exceeding their cash from operations by a wide moat, but they're big enough where they can withstand this for a year or two to come out the other side. So I don't hate the idea of taking a flyer, understand you got to hold it for 3 to 5 years probably, but I need to do a lot of work on it because it's something I've been considering. Matt, what do you think about Oracle here?
I think it's the one to watch in terms of large amounts of debt. And so I think it's a bookend as to if companies don't manage their CapEx appropriately, what it could look like.
Let's see. Matt's skin always glowing. He's got to have a ring light in front of him.
This is true.
Do you really?
Yeah. Well, it's a box light, but
Let's see. Software companies, I think, going much lower. That CRM wasn't up much. I think you'd be surprised. I would listen to what they said on the SaaS portion of All In. I don't know how much lower they're going. I don't think they're going much lower. Once again, listen. When you say SaaS, technically CrowdStrike is a SaaS company. You know, when you work at a large company, the one thing executives don't want to do is make the wrong decision. And they're more than willing to go with something that's just working than taking a flyer on something that has a 20% chance of working better, but an 80% chance of making them look bad. And the idea, and this is where I have a very hard time with SaaS going to zero. When you think about somebody in an IT department writing code and building a organic homegrown program, no CIO or CTO is going to say, oh yeah, let's get rid of our software stack for security and put in something that Johnny B freaking just built on Claude. Like, you're not replacing CloudStrike. You're also not replacing Salesforce. You're not replacing ServiceNow. You're not replacing your ERP systems. Now, are there SaaS companies that are going away? Yes. Will there be consolidation? Maybe. But these companies are going to change with the times. And I think this whole idea, like Palantir, that's SaaS also. You're not going to freaking go code something with Claude and get rid of Palantir. Like this whole idea that SaaS is going to zero is overblown. So maybe it goes down further. I think it's too much. What do you think, Matt?
I think SaaS, to an extent, had its glory years, and there's starting to be movements in the AI space that challenge some of that. And so I think that some of the typical SaaS companies, and I'm like I said, this is probably going to come from a place of ignorance, right? But some of the SaaS companies have been given massive multiples. I think that people thought that the future cash flows were going to be much larger than they actually will end up being. And so I think what you're seeing is an overall attack on SaaS, but there will be shining lights that come out of it onto the other side that will likely capture market share from some of the others and will continue to do extremely well. So it's going to be interesting because you're starting to see AI attack some companies' market caps on a stock market basis, but have yet to actually impact the bottom line or the top line of a lot of these companies. Like Adobe, for one, everyone thinks that Adobe's going to zero, but their revenue growth has actually been okay still, and their bottom line is yet to be impacted. Now, maybe in the couple quarters it will, but to me, it seems like it's still okay for now. And then same thing with something like Salesforce. So cautiously optimistic that it's maybe a little bit overblown, and but I think that there is still a place where some of the simpler stuff can definitely take a massive hit, and I think that that's part of the problem, and that's why you're starting to see the whole sector be hit. But eventually, there'll be a rebound in a lot of those names. Not a lot. Some of those names that will continue to persist into the 2030s and beyond.
Curtis Sparrow, you're 100% correct. Let's see. I'm even going to put that up. I may have some insights on SaaS decision making.
Oh,
Just saying. Let's see.
Steve, you bringing cookies to tomorrow's streams?
Maybe we'll see. I was actually thinking about going to the gym tomorrow for the first time in a long time.
Steven,
I was
if you
thinking
go, I'll
about
go.
starting a workout regimen and trying to get somewhat healthy.
Would you do the elliptical? What would you do?
We'll see what happens. I don't know yet.
I wouldn't hate getting.
Lena says, I work for a tech company. We have an office in Bangalore, India, with over 200 employees, all developers mostly. Lena, let me ask you something. And I'm sure that you guys are using your own stuff, having that many developers, but for your actual company, your back-end business operations, are you utilizing an ERP system for your HR and finance, like a Workday or an Oracle, PeopleSoft or SAP or Microsoft Dynamics? Asking for a friend. Ultimate halftime show. Bring Metallica out for the halftime show. It's football, for Christ's sake.
Little AC/DC.
Little AC/DC. Like it. Cookies and coffee Sunday. I mean, I was thinking about going to the gym. I could be talked into a cookies and coffee Sunday, though, instead. We'll say.
I think, Steve, maybe tomorrow we both at the gym.
I mean, I was thinking about starting to go 4 times a week and trying to get back into it.
I have no excuse.
The problem is every time I go, I start lifting. And I really don't want to start lifting. PB, thank you very much. So the problem is the sign, you can't read it when I freaking put the light on. It's not like you can read it now, but you can at least somewhat make out what it says. I got to get a stand for behind me.
What if you were to make a black cutout for behind it? Would that help?
I don't know if that would help. I don't think it's the wall behind it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm shocked now didn't rebound. Chels, in all seriousness, yoga, I don't think those two words mix.
Charles, you're you're a little bit more fit. I don't think my gut would get in the way of a lot of these stretches.
Well, it's not about the stretching. Stretching is great for mobility. I just don't have the temperament for yoga. Like I say, I want to go back to the gym and I just want to do the elliptical. Next thing you know, I'm going to be freaking starting to bench again.
Something about just throwing up weight.
I don't think I could do 2 plates on incline right now. I wouldn't even try it. Definitely on flat bench, 2 plates, no problem. But on incline, I don't think so.
You think you can put up 225 right now?
Oh, easily, no problem.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'd have to work my way into it.
I mean, I need a warm-up set.
When's the last time you lifted?
I don't know, like 5 years ago. It's 225. It's not that heavy.
Well, let me ask. So, what was your? Would you do like the combine max out for 225 back in the day?
I used to rep 315 for reps.
Jeez, like how many reps?
My working sets were 12 to 15.
On 315?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. My max was 365.
So
that's insane.
I mean, I used to do drop sets on 225. So 225 for 15 going right to 185 for 10 and then 135 for 10. Like in a row and just recycle it. So I used to like really lift. To me, there's no doubt I can do 225 2-3 times.
That's impressive.
But Matt, think about it like this: compared to my body weight, how much of a stress is that really on me? You know, I mean, I'm basically benching my body weight. I'm like 218.
Honestly.
But yeah, Charles, yoga's not going to happen. Let's see. All right. I work for a company with 55K employees. We have Workday, full Adobe Suite, CRM stuff, full Microsoft Suite with Copilot, literally everything. Curtis, is your company in a position to get rid of any of that? That is the question. I don't want to know where you work or anything like that, but could your company operate getting rid of any of that stuff? My bet would be probably not.
Steve, you got me thinking I need to buy an elliptical for the garage.
You could. A keto. That's not happening. Freaking a keto.
And I'll end up like fucking Tanner. I have an elliptical in the garage, a steam room in the garage. I don't know.
Charles wants you to do it. Matt, you should do it. Tell me how it is. Tell me how yoga is, Matt.
What I need to do is get a fucking back massage.
Should we do a poly market on if Steve could lift 225? I mean, please do. I'll put a lot of money on that. Let's see.
Yeah, Tanner's yoked, man. I don't know. He could probably throw up some serious.
He's not yoked. He's lean. Like he's in shape. Like Yoke is being like muscle bound. Like Tanner's really in shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure. I bet you Tanner could probably do 15 pull-ups in a row, 20 pull-ups in a row.
Tanner can do 135. That's a
No,
lot.
Tanner can bench 135
Easily.
without a question. No, dude, don't let him fool you. He's in shape. Tanner is definitely in shape. I would not be surprised if Tanner could do 15, 20 pull-ups at all.
I
Yeah,
think I could easily. I could do 10 135. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do 3 225. Last time I got back into lifting, it took me a week, but my muscle memory came back and I was able to do 225 again. But that muscle memory is tough.
isn't it crazy how like after like 2-3 weeks it just comes back?
It's just like insane. Like you're talking 40% uplift.
A lot of people are agreeing with Chels on the freaking hot yoga.
I mean, maybe maybe it'd be a good spot for Maddie to meet some ladies.
Rivian. I have no interest in Rivian. I could care less what it does. I'm not looking into it. I apologize. Can't do it. I love that Rambler. Rambler
on
did 3
something.
sets of 10 pull-ups last night. I love that.
Hot yoga near me.
Oh my God. Like Chels is like looking to abuse us.
Hey, if I wouldn't mind. Chicago's only like an hour and a half flight for me from Houston. I
Chels,
wouldn't mind.
you gotta tell me where's the pizza spot to go to in Chicago. Like that, forget the yoga. We need pizza in Chicago. Okay. That's what we need.
Do we know when Chicago is?
I think he said it's this year.
I know, but
No, I don't. But it's this year at some point.
I want to know when Houston is because I could have a bunch of people at my house. Like how Amit had. Well, I guess I was about to say Amit had a lot of people at his apartment. If we have Houston here, but I was gonna say like Ray and Michelle, they already have their place in Houston. So
Chels, you're right. I think he said the last weekend in May is Chicago.
last weekend in May, that'd be
I
perfect.
think that's what he said. It's the weekend after Memorial Day.
Yeah, hot yoga is the real deal. I know.
Not for this guy. Oh, right. Yeah, May 30th. Yep.
May 30th. Do you have a list of everything, or is it just like things that you're writing down?
No, him and I were talking about it.
May 30th is like perfect.
Did he say Austin, not Houston? I thought he said Houston. Maybe he said Austin.
I don't know. I'll do whatever he needs, whatever that is. No.
No, like like Cooper Norris from Landman does not work out. Like he's just good genetics and skinny. Like Tanner actually works out. Like he's in shape.
Okay, so it is Austin.
He's in shape.
What's going on, Sachin? Austin's good. I like Austin.
Sachin, what's up?
Dude, if we're in Austin, if we could go to Jester King Brewery,
Can we do some freaking barbecue down there?
Well, let me ask you. We could do like Salt Lake, which is like outdoor, all you can eat.
I'll stay an extra day or two. Like I want a freaking barbecue.
Can you bring Boss Lady?
I don't know.
I
mean, the answer is yes. I just don't know what her work schedule is.
Yeah. You can, but we'll see.
Yeah, obviously I can, but it depends what the work stuff is like.
I still haven't finished 1929. I need to stop slacking and read. Maybe tomorrow. Nah, I'm not going to end up.
Yeah.
A perfect day tomorrow would be hitting the elliptical, Steve, and going to the gym, coming home, showering, and then going to the cigar shop, streaming with you, watching the Super Bowl, and then getting ready for the week. That'd be
All right.
perfect.
So here's my plan for tomorrow. You ready, Matt? I'm going to wake up. I'm going to go to Starbucks.
Oh,
I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to pound my coffee. I'm going to pound some water while I freaking finish my article for Seeking Alpha. I'm going to go to the gym, come back. I'm going to eat. I'm going to write another article. And then we're going to stream.
you're an animal.
Then Super Bowl will be on. And I'm going to do another stream, the anti-Super Bowl stream. Because I'm boycotting the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, June, everybody says Terry Blacks is awesome.
But at that point, my cousin's in Austin too. So that'll be good.
What Wall Street article did Amit get a shot at? And I don't read the Wall Street Journal. They're too smart for me. What do Starbucks stars mean? I have no idea what that means. All I know is that I order it in the app and it's ready when I get there. Rambler, seriously, you're going to need to tell me what the stars mean. Chels, yes, I am booked and busy in my mind. We'll see if it actually happens.
Hot Steve.
I'm boycotting the Super Bowl because I don't have a team to root for, even though I want the Patriots to win. And plus, it'll be a good time for me to work. No, guys, I don't know what stars are. Now I'm going to go into the app. You guys have me freaking curious what the hell stars are. Star balance. I have 4,320 stars. And I don't even know what the hell that means. Whoa, Lena, what do you mean Starbucks is no bueno? Talking about Starbucks is great. Oh, it's points? Okay. I should have realized that, right? How is that a franchise? You can exchange them for drinks? Oh, can I hold on? Can you use them to order on I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll start using them then. I didn't even know that. I mean, I go to Starbucks every day, sometimes 2 times a day. So they build up. A 100 stars is a brewed hot or iced coffee. And I have over 4,000. That's a lot of free coffee, I guess. Nice. Thanks for telling me about that, guys. Appreciate that.
That's a lot of free coffee, Steve.
That is a lot of free coffee. Love that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I drink Starbucks every day.
There's a gym in the strip mall across the street from me. I'm curious if it's got an elliptical. Then I might sign a couple ellipticals and some treadmills. I might run over there. It's literally right across the street from me.
So I do brew my coffee at home once in a blue moon, but I have a Starbucks a half a block away from me. So I go in the morning, and then usually I leave my office and I go get another one. I usually get two Starbucks a day.
Smart man.
What's too much to get into, Lena? Starbucks tastes amazing. And here's why. So I used to work in the e-commerce division of Bed Bath. And I used to work with a lot of the buyers. One of them was a coffee buyer, and they used to explain to me why Starbucks has a very distinctive taste. They sear their beans. So because their theory was, and this is how it was explained to me, that so many people put milk and sugar, hashtag light and sweet, in their coffee, that they sear their beans so you can taste the coffee throughout the milk and sugar. So it gives it a very distinctive taste because they want it to be different than when you get coffee from everywhere else. That way, when you go out other places, it doesn't taste right to you. They do it on purpose. And I've drank so much freaking Starbucks that anything else just tastes weird to me.
I like Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros only does espresso though.
I've never been to Dutch Bros. There's none near me.
There will be soon.
We'll see. I hope.
That's why I'm invested. Actually, they just bought out. They didn't have a lot in North Carolina. They just bought out a small company in North Carolina. The guy actually used to be. It's actually an interesting story. The guy used to be a operator at one of the previous Dutch Brothers in the California area. He was actually going to start franchising for them, but once they went public, they decided they weren't going to continue. Continue to do franchises. So they were going to do company-owned stores, and so he wasn't actually able to do it, and so he started his own in North Carolina, South Carolina. And then Dutch Brothers was like, wow, this guy has literally the same exact values, everything, and was taught by Dutch Bros. So it's literally like the perfect bolt-on acquisition. And so now they purchased that. So they're about to expand by like 20 stores in northern and South Carolina. And they're in Ohio now, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. They're all over. They're now starting in Georgia. So they're about to start entering their way up into the Northeast. So I wouldn't be surprised the next 2 to 3 years. They started they had one store or something like that in Florida, and now they're up to like 20 stores in Florida. That was like last year, I think, was their first store that they opened up in Florida. Now they have like 20. It's insane. Same thing last year in Georgia. They had like one store in Georgia, and now they're up to like 5 stores in Georgia. So.
And you know what? I just realized one of the baristas always writes notes on my cup. This cup doesn't have a note on it. What the hell?
Tell her next time.
No, I don't think they were working today.
Dutch Bros needs to come to New York City.
Lena, I used to drink a lot of Dunkin' Donuts, but now that there's a Starbucks half a block, I just go there. I do have a Dunkin' Donuts across the street, but it would be another 4 minutes, and The time adds up.
Yeah, Washington. I think they started in Washington. Maybe they started in Portland.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Basis Points now has 3,570 subscribers
Thank you all.
within like 28 hours. Amazing. Amazing.
Love that. Steve, that's impressive. I'm just about to cross 20K. I'm 500
nice.
away. You guys are 35. You guys will pass me before I get to 25, I promise.
Chels, I'm not getting a lot of steps in. I'm probably getting 4,000 to 6,000 steps in a day, maybe. On a good day, 8,000. I know I need to walk more. There's not enough time in the day. That's why I got to freaking make it a point to lift and do the elliptical and take 40 to 45 minutes every other day and just do it.
Steve, you're a good man.
Can we, if you're not following Maddie, please subscribe to his channel. Let's get him to 20,000, please.
When you hit 9,000, 19,900 on sub.
I love that.
Please do.
That's hilarious.
Please do.
Cut the stream short for 20. I can't cut the stream short. Can't do that to you. We're going to go for 3 more minutes, and then I am cutting it. So get your last questions in, please. 11:30 cutoff. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it.
Steve, your gym's in the building, right?
Yeah, it's right downstairs. Perfect. I really have no excuse.
Maybe I refinance this place, move somebody into it, and then I move back into my old apartment that I had downtown. Did I ever show you that apartment, Steve? Did you ever know what I used to? No, or yeah?
No.
Let me pull it up.
Lena, I know I need to. Listen, I'm a bad role model. I know I'm a bad role model.
Steve, you're beautiful. Don't ever let anybody ever tell you.
Yes, I bought more Zeta at 16.
Take Steve's broken wings.
Basis Point is right here. In case you're interested, please subscribe. Watch the video. It's an incredible interview. Yeah, Lena, I gotta get 10,000 steps a day. I know. I'm bad. What can I say? I need to drop 30 pounds is what I need to do. I don't even know if it's possible.
Oh, damn, what is it? It's at nighttime. It's Cash Flow Chronicles.
Yeah, I know, no excuse. I know. What the problem is, I'm a sugar crackhead.
You're the best crackhead I know, Steve.
Dude, why is sugar so good? Can you tell me that? Like, why is it so freaking good?
Steve, did I ever tell you you're a champion?
I'm not. We're trying to do the pod weekly. So we already have the next episode done, and we're going from there. I mean, we are going to do it weekly, or at least try to. So It was
Yeah,
a
that
lot of
camera.
fun. I'm really looking forward to the new episode coming out.
Me too. That'll be a good one. So I was looking, all the videos were the camera is pretty shitty. So I'll have to show you a physical picture. I'll send it to you after the stream.
It's going to get a little fiery, is what it's going to get.
Weekly is crazy. It's gonna be insane.
June, I don't know how the hell you eliminated sugar. Like, it's so good. Oh my God.
Steve already said that, well, he would like to have me on, that I'm not good enough
Stop it.
to be on basis points.
You know what, Matt? That's
He
not
said
fair.
he said they started a precedence and they need to go up and not down.
You know what? That's not fair. You know that's not fair.
Chris Camilla would be dope. I don't know who else. I'm just like trying to think who else. Like,
Listen, I'd love to talk to Camilla.
he's a smart guy and he hustles too. Like, did you see the videos of him? Did you see him he was like bussing tables at his restaurant?
He has a restaurant.
I guess he has like a co-partnership. I guess I don't know if he lives in Austin or Dallas or what, but I guess during the snowstorm they were shorthanded, and so he went in and was bussing tables
Good for him.
at his own restaurant.
I know nothing about real estate, so Ben Malo would not be great. He's awesome, and I really like the. I watch his stuff. I know jack shit about real estate.
When it comes to real estate, I know jack shit either. I don't know anything about stocks either, but I try my best.
I'd love to get the all in guys on. I mean, who knows? Well, I guess we're gonna take Lena up on the 10,000 step challenge. I do have an Apple Watch somewhere. I don't even know where the hell it is. Should probably charge that thing.
Yeah, who can top Josh Brown is right. That's tough.
And cut the sugar. Come on. Sugar's so good.
You're making positive moves. Anyway, Steve, you're making positive moves.
I mean, I don't know about that, but we're gonna see what we can do. Do you have any? I don't have any subscriptions that I pay for that I don't use, but I have a lot of subscriptions I pay for that I use.
HBO Max I haven't used in a long time. I should probably watch some shit on HBO Max.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 8 or 10 subscriptions.
I actually should go through a lot of my subscriptions. I'm sure there's something in there. I know I have an Xbox subscription that I haven't used in a long time because my buddies convinced me to restart it to play Halo or something. That's probably like $200 down the drain, considering they charge me every couple of quarters or something like that.
All I'm gonna say is, if Jim Cramer comes on, I promise I will ask him about the inverse Cramer ETF.
That would be awesome.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I still need to finish. Steve, I'm finally on the last season of Billions.
Thank the good Lord.
So hopefully within the next.
So you got your answer then.
Did I? Hold on. Maybe I'm not on.
You know what, Matt? You're not on the last season if you freaking have to say that.
But it sounds like I got. No, I'm on the last episode of the 6th season. I thought just based off how it ended. So Guess I have my answer, Steve. Whether or not he's coming back in season 7.
Listen, Kramer's not the next guest. What I said is, if he ends up coming on at some point, I promise I will ask him about the inverse Kramer ETF.
Do you have a wish list of people that you want but haven't
Yeah.
yet gotten invited? Or are you not allowed to say?
No, I have no problem saying who I wish we could get on. I mean, look, we just started it. I would love to get the following people: Joe Terranova, Stephanie Link, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Would love to get those 3. I would love to get there's some people I'm not going to mention because I think that they're going to come on. But I mean, I would love to get Bill Ackman on. I'd love to get Dave Portnoy on, because I want to talk about the $1 deal with him buying back Barstool and him getting thrown in freaking NFL jail. So and his pizza. There's a bunch of people that I would like. Everybody from CNBC, I think, like freaking Liz Young, the Nigerian brothers, Dana White. The problem is with Dana White, Amit would get annoyed if he came on, I think. Because because I would ask Dana White so many fighting questions.
True.
It would I would love to get Dana White on, but honestly, I need like 5 hours with Dana White.
But there's a lot of business questions you can ask with Dana.
I need like 5 hours with Dana White. He is such an interesting guy. I want to talk the business of UFC. I want to talk gambling. And I want to talk freaking just the actual sport of UFC.
But does he come to New York a lot?
I don't know.
That'd be tough. I don't know if he does it. He doesn't do AC as much as anymore as he used to, right?
Like Camilo, I'd love to get on. I'd love to get freaking the guy Small in on. There's a lot of people that I'd like to get on. Like Zuckerberg would be just top. Would love to get Zuck on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who is some regulars that are in New York that you can get. Pretty much everyone but me. Yeah, somebody said that right. Did you get Germany? Would you guys travel for it? That could be another piece, Steve. Is if you're going out to LA, maybe you could get a couple people to stop by. I know maybe you could find a different.
What I said to Amit is, I would be willing to travel if we were able to line stuff up with a studio. I would travel. Yeah. Like I'm not pigeonholed to just doing it just in New York.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go to Vegas, you probably get a lot of people. You might be able to get Dana at that point. Graham, Stephan, Jeremy.
That would be sick. Dana would be sick. Like, I would love to go over my craps strategy with Dana, because he doesn't play craps, and maybe turn him into the biggest savage ever in craps.
Can you imagine?
Could you imagine? I mean, they got him to start playing freaking Baccarat.
Just get Dan Ives to come live on a Friday stream. That would be cool. Yeah, I feel like Dana only plays poker. At least from the videos I see, that's
he plays blackjack.
That's what I meant, blackjack. What? Dustin Hoffman is Rain Man? Kevin O'Leary would be crazy.
I would love to get O'Leary on and talk about sports cards with him.
And I feel like oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I'd love to get Dan Ives on too.
And that was a big dope.
OG Palantir Bull. There's a lot of people.
Host a one-time a millennial money and finance junkies. Huh.
Druck would be sick. I didn't even think about that. Druck would be sick.
Was he in New York a good bit?
You know who else would be sick? Michael Berry.
That would be, actually.
I need to freaking text him and tell him we need to get Berry on.
That's true. If you guys are in Austin, whenever that meetup is, I mean, dude, we can't do Austin middle of the summer, right? Like, you guys got to figure that out. But whenever you do it, there's a lot of people in Austin you might be able to get.
Yeah, you got Calacanis in Austin.
You got Calacanis, you got David Sachs in Austin now.
When he's not in DC, you got Chamath probably moving there. You got Rogan. Gerstner would be great. Chamath would be great. Yeah, listen, everybody that you're naming, I would love to get on, pretty much.
What about June? Did you get June on?
Everybody that we're naming, I would love to get on.
Get June on.
All right, everyone. We went 11 minutes past where I wanted to go. I'm fading. Matt's not feeling the best. We need to get
funny. It was 1 degrees
tomorrow.
at night in New York. Let them cook in the Texas heat.
Well, I mean, that is true. You guys froze in New York.
Oscar. Yeah. All right, my man. Well, I'm excited to hear what you end up knocking out. I should drink some tea. You're right. Excited to hear what you knock out tomorrow. What time do you want to do the small account challenge?
Like 2 or 3. Super Bowl starts when? 6?
I assume
2 or 3.
2 or 3. That'd be perfect. We do an hour and a half, and then gives me time to get some winglings before the Super Bowl.
Get some wings. I may or may not have a pound of wings in the fridge.
What are you gonna make them? Bake them? Fry them?
No, they're already made. Ready to go.
It's gonna heat them up.
Ready to go.
Buffalo?
Ready to go, Maddie. Don't you worry about it. Ready to go.
I need to know if they're buffalo.
Ready to go.
KFC has 20 for 20 wings.
And yes, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I will be working during the Super Bowl. So
I need to get back on my grind, Steve. 1 article a week.
I like it. Let's get her done. Please.
All right, my man. Thank you for having me on. It's been a blast.
All right, everyone. Appreciate everybody hanging in there. We're going to call it a night. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Matt and I will be on tomorrow afternoon. I will be probably doing some type of stream later on in the evening. I will definitely be writing an article or 2 tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Get some rest. Join us tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to Matt, please subscribe to Matt. Let's get him to 20,000. If you have not subscribed to the new channel Basis Points, please subscribe. We are at 3,590, pushing 3,600. First video's got 18,000 views. We're trying to get up there. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Have a good night.